Good morning. Okay, toe. Good toe.
morning.
Okay, toe. Krog.
Please open Shulchan Aruch Orach Hayim. Siman Taf Reish Dalet. Taf Reish Dalet. 604. Taf Reish Dalet. Shulchan Aruch says, מצווה לאכול בערב יום הכיפורים ולהרבות בסעודה. It's only one of the, maybe the only one, the only weekday the mitzvah לאכול is להרבות בסעודה. Let's look at the Mishnah Berurah. What is the source for that? You can see this. Look at the Mishnah Berurah, Seif Katan Aleph. See the Siman Tav Reish Dalet, Joseph, Seif Katan Aleph. דכתיב, it says in the Chumash, ועיניתם את נפשותיכם בתשעה לחודש בערב. Pay attention to the language. You have to afflict yourself with hunger, men, on the 9th of Tishrei in the evening. היה לו לכתוב בתשעה לחודש בערב תענו את נפשותיכם. Instead of saying the Ve'initem first, because our fast really begins the 10th. Why is the pasuk saying Ve'initem et nafshotechem? You have to be the Inui on the 9th. You should have said Taf Reish Dalet, Mishnah Berurah, Seif Katan Aleph. היה לו לכתוב ועיניתם את נפשותיכם בתשעה לחודש תענו. So says the Gemara, סימן תף ריש ד' ומי דכתיב ועיניתם בתשעה לחודש משמע שיטענו בתשעה. This is the Gemara. It just explains the Gemara that there is a mitzvah to fast on the 9th. ובאמת, the fifth line, ובאמת יום הכיפורים אינו אלא בעשירי בחודש. וקיבלו חז"ל, ואדרבה מצווה מן התורה, לאכול בערב יום כיפור. You realize that what he's saying, מצווה מן התורה. This is a tremendous מחלוקת. He's posek like the poskim, it is a mitzvah מן התורה to eat some extra food on Wednesday. ורצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לתת שכר to reward us בעד האכילה when we eat for the sake of the mitzvah of eating, כאילו התענו שאינו דומה מצווה שיש בו צער כמו שאמרו לפום צערה אגרה. אוקיי.
How does לפום צערה אגרה play into eating on תשעה?
He said it continues. אילו כתב בתשעה לחודש תאכלו, if the mitzvah would be eat, לא היה לנו שכר אלא כמקיים מצוותו על ידי אכילה, להגיד Friday night. לכן שינה הכתוב וכתב מצוות אכילה בלשון תענית דיוויד, שיהיה נחשב אכילה זו לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא כאילו היה תענית. What is he saying? I mean, the way the great people are saying it's easier to fast on Kippur than to eat on Erev Yom Kippur. Why? Every day we eat Danishes. So by what am I different eating my Danish on Wednesday? If you eat it only, I never eat the cheese Danish, but this Erev Yom Kippur, I might take cheese Danish just for that reason, yes. If you are doing it for the sake of the mitzvah, I wouldn't teach it, not take another one, but anyway. Exactly. If someone, David, me and you eat good on Shabbat, Joseph, by what are we showing that you're eating good Shabbat? That's if someone has a diet, then a real diet. He doesn't eat cake during the week. On Shabbat, he eats twice a slice of cake. This is good Shabbat. Every night I eat a very good dinner. By what is Shabbat different? So he is saying the Torah purposely wrote it in a way, if you do it for the right reason, okay? כדי לתת שכר כמקיים מצווה בצער. ויש לאדם, look how far it goes, have a second David, ויש לאדם למעט בלימודו בערב יום כיפור כדי לאכול ולשתות. He says, even if you have a regular class, cut some of the learning. What is the reason? What is the reason that you have a mitzvah to Yom Kippur? What is the reason? An Erev Sukkot, I have to eat less. An Erev Pesach, I have to eat less. So the Rishonim give three explanations, and the three explanations have big halachic differences. David, what did you start to say before?
I'm trying to understand how the food tzara igra plays into.
If I fast, I mitzvah. The Torah says the reward for eating is as if you're fasting.
But it's exactly the opposite of tzara on the cheese.
But the Torah is
where's
but the Torah.
Where's the lefum tzara? I'm trying to see.
The reward is as if you fasted and Yom Kippur also.
So we're eating and we shouldn't fast.
If you go to the great Hasidic masters and you see the way they eat a Yom Kippur, you start to go like that.
What they do?
They're not freshing, they're eating Shem Shamayim. The most difficult mitzvah, Joseph, is always to eat with the proper kavanah. Because as human beings, we eat regularly anyway.
Going back to something you taught us originally, would the Mishnah Berurah then say that you should make a shechianu and a brit milah? Because I'm going back to the concept of tsar, Rabbi Prague.
Second. But the reality is, Joseph is saying, we're not really mitzvah. Hashem is saying, if you eat for the right reason, I'm saying again, each one of us is eating every day. Each one of us is eating every Shabbat. By eating special food on Shabbat, or by eating extra food that you would not eat regularly on Erev Kippur.
So what other mitzvah do you know of that yesh bo tsar? He says, "She'ein doma mitzvah sheyesh bo tsar." So that means there must be another one. That's why I thought of Brit Milah. I'm just wondering.
David says, the person wakes up early to learn. The person is sleeping in the sukkah. I'm just telling you from my experience.
That's not the mitzvah itself. It's secondary, though.
No,
fasting
no.
is. I mean,
No, right. But I'm saying every mitzvah that you have two ways to do it. I mean, yes, and it happens that today I'm doing it with tsar. The reward is much greater.
No pain, no gain.
We'll come to it in a minute. There are in the Rishonim a few reasons. One reason is Yom Kippur is really a holiday. If Yom Kippur is a holiday, and a holiday we eat. Where is the meal of Yom Kippur? An Erev Yom Kippur. So remember, the reason why we eat on, listen carefully how Rabbeinu Yonah is phrasing it. A person knows that he is having an operation today that is going to save your life. He's excitingly looking forward to the operation. Thursday is the operation, yes.
Even though he's not losing the pain.
What?
Even though he knows he's going to be in pain, he's excited because he knows
He
the
knows
pain
that
is
his life depends on it, yes. So one reason is by eating extra, I'm showing that Yom Kippur is important to me. Therefore, I'm celebrating the day of Yom Kippur, the arrival of the day. The other simple reason is I'm doing it simply to have more strength on Yom Kippur, yes? Now, the nafkamina is, what do you eat on Yom Kippur? All the junk that you normally eat? You eat extra food.
Very cheap to eat.
Now, it sounds like, it's cute stuff. What happens if someone is sick and is eating on Yom Kippur? Does he have a mitzvah to eat on Yom Kippur?
Why not?
I just gave you two
So
reasons to
it's like
understand
you
why
need
yes, why
strength for
not.
Yom Kippur, but you don't need strength anymore.
If the reason
Depends
is,
what he's eating.
if
He's eating
if a man has to eat, if a
survive.
man has to eat regularly, or even if he's eating small portions, but he's not going to be hungry with Yom Kippur. If you take the second reason, you're not obligated. If the idea is to show how excited I am for the arrival of Yom Kippur.
Then of course.
Of course, everyone is. This is one of the nafkaminot. Another
So you're saying
nafkaminot.
so it is a.
It's a
it is
machloket
mitzvah.
apostol.
Even one who's
Machloket
eating.
apostol.
So Rabbi,
The machloket has to do David with these two
but
opinions.
Rabbi, for the reason that they say because they want you to have extra food so you could be strong for Yom Kippur, it doesn't sound logical because that would be a mitzvah before every fast day. It's not.
This is a mitzvah d'oraita.
But I'm saying either way, any fast that you're fasting, Tisha B'Av.
I mean, I'm
person
sure
needs
you
to-
do the same as I do, but the night before I ate food that normally I never eat at night because I knew that tomorrow I'm fat.
Yeah.
We are doing
Yeah.
it. But here is
Yeah, in the morning.
Here.
5:15.
So the two reasons
No,
you
Jack,
said
no, but here, Jack, the point is, it's the entire day. This
Yeah.
is the chidush.
All right, so you gave 2 reasons so far.
We're going to give 3 more nafkaminot. Nafkaminot between halachic differences.
Yeah.
I just want to review that.
Halachic differences between what happened. Is a woman obligated? Does she have the same mitzvah or not? Is a woman?
Depends if she's on a diet.
No, but let's assume she's sincerely religious and normally she wouldn't eat cake.
She's obligated
Should
to
she eat
fast.
cake? But are you aware that by the Hasidim, 12 noon this Wednesday, the entire family is dressed as if it's Shabbat.
Wow.
The table is set
Wow.
as if it's Sukkot.
Wow.
Candles are lit and they eat a 5-course meal. It's a mitzvah to eat.
Wow.
Seems
You
like there should
realize-
be a kiddush. There should be something. If it's a mitzvah, it should be.
Well, that's a famous
Yeah, yeah.
question.
The poskim are asking how come there's no shechianu. עד כדי כך, this is a mitzvah מן התורה to eat. No, but this is the point. No, remember, we are telling in my neighborhood, everyone is dressed with day Shabbat. We go for mincha because everyone can do it for a meal. No, but the idea is again, it's if it's a mitzvah, this is what we spoke before.
Yeah.
Man.
Do they have bread for sure?
They
Just
wash, they
have
don't have bread.
They
they have
wash for sure.
Challah.
Wow.
They have challah. They have challah just like Shabbat then.
So it's a
It's a
full-fledged
Shabbat
meal.
meal.
And they have wine then.
Okay, you're
They
not
have wine then.
eating too
Yeah, yeah.
much because then you wouldn't be able
No.
to eat later. But if you do it around 12:30, almost
But if
almost
it's a chashuva, maybe they also say make sure they have wine. Say yes. they-
Rabbi, so Rabbi, why is there no kiddush for it?
What's that?
Famous question.
They don't have to drink a lot.
Rabbi,
I'm sure
Rabbi,
I'm sure there's something. Yeah, I'm sure.
Rabbi, how come there's no kiddush? If it's such a
second.
mitzvah, why don't we have a?
Have a second. Eli is asking how come the wine is only if you have a mitzvah of simcha.
Oh,
Simcha. Ein simcha ela bebasar v'yayin. Yes.
right.
No,
No one is going to eat 12 Wednesday meat because if you eat meat by 6, you cannot eat your food. But they eat a full mamash, a full meal, a special dishes that you prepare for that because of the mitzvah. Now think about it, David. Is a woman chayav or not?
She's obligated to fast. She's
Oh,
obligated to
oh,
eat. Connected to the eating.
David-
connected to the-
So David is saying, on one hand, many Rishonim say it's a mitzvah she'azman gerama, yes? This is a mitzvah she'azman gerama. Here, look now in the beginning again. In the beginning of the Mishnah Berurah, the Mishnah Berurah told us it's a mitzvah min ha-Torah to eat. A mitzvah min ha-Torah that has to do with a specific time, which is Erev Yom Kippur, Wednesday this week, should be patur. On the other hand, the way that David said, if the idea of the mitzvah is connected to the fast, she is chayav to fast, right? Says the Ktav Sofer, yes, she is chayav the same as men because most of the Rishonim, Rabbeinu Yonah, the main one, are connecting the eating on Erev Yom Kippur to the. If you go to certain schools in Borough Park, they have cake at the table the entire day, they have food on the table the entire day. And many great people used to take with them a bag of fruit or raisins or whatever, yes? But again, not to overdo it, but to do it in a way that shows that we are appreciating what we have.
But even though it says you still are fasting on the night,
What?
you are still fasting on the
No,
night.
no, everyone.
Because you're going to begin the
There
fast.
is
you're still
everyone.
fasting. So you're
Yeah,
fasting
but you
on the night.
realize he didn't say that the reason why it says we
No.
need to Betisha is because of the seventh Yom Kippur. It's a separate issue. He is saying, this is what David was focusing in the beginning. He's saying, eating an Erev Yom Kippur the proper way, Hashem writes down you fasted 2 days.
So how do we learn Tosefet Yom Kippur Doraita from
From
where?
the same pasuk.
Tisha Chodesh Bar.
But the difference is, you have ever said it, David, the difference is,
People eat fish or they eat fish?
what?
My master said people should eat fish in the morning.
The Mishnah Berurah, of course. said.
Yeah, no, I know.
He didn't make it up. He didn't make it up.
No, it might be like one of these segulot, you have to have
Oh,
fish.
yeah, yeah. Right.
Which fish? Ethiopia.
Swordfish.
The answer is nothing to
What's interesting is that
Turkey
none of
only.
this seemed to filter down to us, that we have all these customs that we take, I personally never heard of anything having a celebratory meal around midday, at Yom Kippur.
The answer is because
It never filtered down to us.
to eat a lot that day.
Extra eating.
even if you go to work, most people do go to work at Yom Kippur, the meal that you eat normally in lunch should be, your neighbor should ask you.
No, I'm absorbing it now, but I'm interested. We never. It didn't be like nobody's talking about it. Never. Other things we do from the centuries.
So what's the definition of proper eating? What is so that people that they absorb it from fasting? What's the definition of eating properly?
No, it's the way you
Yeah,
eat,
what's
the way you eat, the way you
So what's your
make
mindset
the
is?
berachot. What is the mood of the table?
Elevated.
It's elevated meal. Joseph, it's a-
Rabbi,
Yes.
Rabbi, we're focusing so much on the eating and how much of it's a mitzvah. How come we don't make any kind of kiddush for this meal? I-
He's asking now, how come
Famous
we
question.
kiddush for the meal? Kiddush, Shechianu.
Something to say, you're emphasizing how important it is to eat, how important it is to have the meal.
See, but this is the point. The point is his question. If we would make too much out of it, the food would be the main focus.
Oh, no, Rabbi, no, you're gonna fast right after that. You know you're fasting, but you're making a mitzvah to eat.
How many Jewish soldiers died, how many people died, everything was Yom Kippur. But to show that I am really celebrating the opportunity of coming to Yom Kippur, I have to do it. It's a very fine line. It's a very fine line between jumping into, take Mishloach Manot, yes? Went out of hand. Why? Because people focus on how big it is. We send it to Ephes, yes?
Yeah.
Give to one poor man more and forget all the Mishloach Manot, yes? Very often, if you give it to the masses of the people, you go overboard. Here it's a mitzvah, I'm telling you again.
Sounds like the Shabbat said that Hashem gave us a chesed, knows how great the Zarai Gra is. So through your pleasure, Hashem's gonna count that pleasure like
This is exactly, David, this is exactly what he said. But we are going Here's a question now. Let's say a person can eat only intravenously, yes? Does he have the mitzvah? He doesn't have the mitzvah, yes? The mitzvah is to eat. The mitzvah is to eat. The mitzvah is to eat.
On the other hand, the nourishment aspect is an important factor too. He wants to be nourished.
No,
Be better able to fast.
no. I'm asking you this particular mitzvah. Of course you're right. Of course you're right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. What was the answer of why we don't, what is the answer why we don't make the kiddush? Is it because you don't want to
Because
make it the point more than the fast? I don't feel that's going to make it more important.
Kiddush is only when Beit Din that declare that Rosh Chodesh Nisan is today, and 14 days later is a Kadosh. Yes?
Right.
The Kadosh is Azmanim. The day is not a Yom Kadosh, but the meal is an extra meal. Kiddush is a totally different thing.
If someone had to eat, if his doctor said you have to make kiddush on Yom Kippur,
Oh, David is raising an interesting question. David wants to know if a man has to eat on Yom Kippur, does he have to make kiddush or not? Let's take it a step further. If Yom Kippur falls on Shabbat, then kiddush is Minat Torah.
Big kiddush.
Go to Siman Taf Reish Yud Chet, David, Taf Reish Yud Chet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Siman Taf Reish Yud Chet.
I'm just saying
So
that
if
this
you-
is, that it's like a Ksat Yom Tov, that Mishnah Berurah writes.
It's K'tzat Yom Tov.
Ksat Yom Tov, he writes. That's K'mo Yom Tov.
Look-
Ksat K'mo Yom Tov.
Look at Siman Taf Reish Yud Chet, so if you. I mean, I read once, it's a sad joke, but it's reality. This is before the war. And Aseret Yemei Tshuva, a Gentile, was about to close a big deal with a Jew. And he's asking his friend, is he honest or not? He says to him, if it's the days before Yom Kippur,
Trust
to
me,
be
you're
sure
gonna be
he's
careful.
not going to cheat you.
Being extra careful.
Which means the Goyim, no, the Goyim, the Jews are different. It's the mood of a community. Look now, Tavresh and Chetzi, if you. David's question was on Kippur, someone really has to. Chole, you have it, David, Tavresh Yud Chetzi, if you. חולה שאכל ביום הכיפורים ונתיישב דעתו and he's feeling good, בעניין שיכול לברך. He has to say ברכת המזון, צריך להזכיר של יום הכיפורים בברכת המזון. So the sick man has to say יעלה ויבוא. Why? It's a holiday. The חולה has to say, שאומר יעלה ויבוא בבוני ירושלים. Look at the Mishnah Berurah, please. סעיף קטן, כ"ח.
But that's if he's eating a lot, no?
No, he's eating and a half.
If he's eating with
It's
my
not in
meal,
there.
you can't
Right,
say Yom
right,
Kippur.
David is right. Only if he ate enough. The amount to say ברכת המזון. חולה שאכל ביום כיפור, וכן יש לנהוג לנערים, young kids, 9-10, שאוכלים ביום כיפור, וכן היולדת, a woman that gave birth right before, halachically, she has to eat ביום כיפור, she has to say רגע לברכת המזון, שאומר יעלה ויבוא, הטעם, the reason why you say יעלה ויבוא, כיוון בהיתר האכל, is eating halachically מותר, אבל ליום כיפור, כמו לדידן, שאר יום טוב. יום כיפור is a holiday, the same as Sukkot, the same as Pesach.
So you can have a child that's 10 years old, knows how to say Birkat Hamazon or whatever,
You have
and
to
he's
teach
not
him, you have to
fasting.
teach him.
He's not
You have to
fasting,
teach him
so
to say Yaleh
Bechinuch, he's gonna say Bracha for now. So.
Rabbi, how would you say it? How would the
Interesting.
person say it? But Yom Tov, mentioning a Yom Tov or
It's a good question. Me and you, Bezat Hashem, Wednesday night, in the tefillah you have Yaleh v'Yavo also.
Yeah.
What do you say in the tefillah? B'Yom HaKippurim hazeh. This is what you say. When you eat, it's the same. ואם חל בשבת, אומר רצה ואחריצנו. Okay?
There's no kiddush though.
ויש, we didn't speak about
We're getting
kiddush,
it.
David's question was
We're gonna get there.
ויש שמקלים בזה, שאפילו יעלה ויבוא, אין צריך לומר, שלא תקנו אלא במקום שמצווה לאכילתו.
Oh, that's
Yes.
interesting.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah,
great.
When
that's
I'm
interesting.
commanded to eat,
Yeah, very good.
here I have to eat, I must eat,
Not commit.
but it's not a mitzvah. Okay, והוא הדין שאינו אומר, according to this opinion, שאינו אומר רצה ואכלסנו כשחל בשבת.
Well, you're not commanded to, right?
Right.
Yeah, but why isn't it a command? Why isn't it a mitzvah? He has to take care of his health.
So that's your
Not only
personal
that, but on
mitzvah.
Yom
It's not a
Tov, if you have a
day's
fifth
thing.
meal of bread or sixth meal of bread.
ועל כל
yeah, they say,
פנים,
yeah, let me have both. It's not
now
nice.
David's question, ועל כל פנים קידוש, בוודאי אין לו לעשות. באמת, באמת, זה tremendous מחלוקת, yes? He's saying, according to those who say that you don't say רצה ואכלסנו, you don't say יעלה ויבוא, they say also that קידוש.
Because
ויש
it's only
חשש,
fine eating.
ויש חשש לברכה לבטלה. רבי עקיבא איגר disagrees, many disagree, and they say, you have to say קידוש. Nevertheless, וכן, in a second, אם שכח לומר יעלה ויבוא רצה כשחל בשבת, obviously if you forgot to say רצה ואכלסנו, you're not going back.
It's not, that's what it's saying. See, there's a stira. First he's saying it's not a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah to eat. You're saying, but same thing on Yom Tov. If I have a third meal.
The definition is everything. The mitzvah means that every Jew has to eat. Yeah? Not every Jew has to eat the Yom Kippur, every Jew has to fast on Yom Kippur. Yes? There is a mitzvah, as Jack says, all year long. It's a mitzvah to make sure that you're healthy. So on Kippur, remember this, to make it a big mitzvah to eat on Yom Kippur is very difficult. Yeah. But you have to eat.
No, but it's not any different than any other day. So you're not
No,
making kiddush on your health. When you eat a healthy salad, we never make kiddush.
But this
It's
is
the
the
same
reason.
thing.
This is the reason. According to that, every time you have a choice, you go to a dinner, you have a choice to take something that has many calories and a lot of cholesterol. Or you take a good salad, okay? So the mitzvah not there.
That's not a mitzvah today.
I know a young fellow that was unfortunate that diabetes B, and he was depressed, really, really in the mitzvah over there. So the Rosh Yeshiva of Azata, who had diabetes all his life, told me, me and you are in a special category. Everyone that eats every day eats because he's hungry. Me and you, every time we eat, we have a mitzvah.
Wow.
Now, it's very nice to say it, and he was right, yes. But it's the same mitzvah, you understand?
I understand.
No, but what he meant to say is, every time you eat, I cannot have pizza. Let me take my sugar level. So every time when you eat, we eat whenever we want, because we're healthy, unless you're on a diet. Anyway, in my shul, what they do is Yom Kippur, Eli falls on Shabbat. We do it, he doesn't bring it, but Rabbi Akiva Eiger says, we tell everyone, while you pray Amidah, have in mind to fulfill the mitzvah of Kiddush. Every Friday night,
As if.
if someone is in the hospital and he's not permitted to eat, what does he do with Kiddush? If someone is attending him, okay, it's a Kiddush for him.
So Rabbi, if it falls on Shabbat, isn't that something to worry about eating all day long, so we're not gonna enjoy Shabbat meal?
I could say like almost naked.
No, so on Kippur we're not eating.
Before, you're not
You don't want to use that.
You're not fulfilling it, right?
No, I'm telling you that every Friday night, Joseph, if someone
Especially
cannot
if you're not,
eat or
you
drink,
listen to you by
you
yourself.
can fulfill the mitzvah by
Saying-
having in mind Kiddush. This is what the many Achronim tell us anyway.
Right.
This Wednesday night, you
Oh.
have in mind Kiddush. It's a machloket, should you say or not? We're not saying any bracha b'tala. Now, in my shul, we had a medical doctor, is not allowed anymore, Dr. Shimshon Glantz. He told me, and this is, and say he told me, that on Erev Yom Kippur, the last year of Rabbi Feinstein, he went to visit him in NYU. I think it was NYU. And he comes in, and Rabbi Feinstein knew him. So he says, Dr. Lenzman, I'm happy you came. My doctors told me to eat at Yom Kippur, and of course, if I have to eat, I have to eat. But you are religious. I mean, he didn't say religious, man. Please re-examine me. And he says, I examined him, and I told him, Rabbi, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have to eat Yom Kippur, like you told me. He says, don't be sorry, I'm going to eat.
For a second of
Really,
Is Rav Moshe?
Moshe Feinstein. Then the doctor says to Rabbi Feinstein, if the Rov gives me permission, I'll come in the afternoon and I'll hook you into ministry instead of feeling like it is brilliant, yes? Says Rabbi Feinstein, this I heard from him, remember?
The
Told him,
doctor's not a sword.
don't come. No, he didn't say so. He has to eat. He has to eat means his body.
He needs the
needs
nourishment.
No, I understand,
nourishment.
but what's the head of the doctor to hook him up, to
An
give him
Arab
a
Yom
shot?
Kippur.
Oh, an Arab Yom Kippur,
Says
oh.
I'll be back. The doctor
Okay,
leave
sorry.
the
The
ball.
line is already established.
Okay,
That's right.
I got it.
I've never
Putting the
seen
food
someone-
in, putting the nourishment in the.
So Rabbi
I gotta
Feinstein,
taste this
Rabbi Feinstein told him, no, if I'm allowed to eat, I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
I can assure you that he said it only because he knew that every other patient, the next
We'll
time
be
they
walking
ate,
around with
he
the IV
start
bag.
saying, why? Because Rav Soloveitchik, Alav Shalom, at the Shumer, when he ate to eat on Yom Kippur, he insisted being hooked into ministry.
Wow.
What? Yeah. But you understand why? Because we must eat. As you said before, it's a mitzvah, David. If it's a mitzvah to eat, so why did Rabbi Soloveitchik not eat? The mitzvah is to get nourishment.
Mhm.
And if you can reduce
Another way to
the,
do it.
and Rabbi Feinstein, in his wisdom, yes, said, every chole is going to have the same problem. Oh, Rabbi Feinstein said, yes. Have a wonderful day.
Rabbi Prague, can I ask you one question? In Emor, what is the ach be'asor lachodesh? Do you know?
The Gemara in Yoma says, if you want tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay, it's not fair to ask you. Okay, we'll talk later. I'll see you tonight.
No, I want to hear the answer tomorrow, Rabbi.
מיעוט.
What is-
אתה ממעט משהו.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
לחודש השביעי.
Rabbi, leave these here for tomorrow.
Yeah, please.
So that makes it a little better. The polling says that if Sliwa drops out, Cuomo has a good chance of winning. But if Sliwa drops out, we don't know yet.
But Eric Adams dropped out?
That's dropped out yesterday. He made
What
a
do you
very
guys
nice, he made a